What's going on, guys? It's your boy I'm sorry. Wait. wait a minute. I really wanted to talk. I was gonna make some jokes. I'm still gonna make jokes, but I was really gonna make it seem silly or funny. But what really angers me about the thing with Alessia is actually not even Smilegate at this point. It might honestly just be the community's response to what happened. And I'm gonna get into that, what I mean by that. I'm not even gonna do my intro. And I'm lucky enough to find out through Mango's video, and his video is actually gonna be an example. Now, it has nothing to do with the content creators themselves, because most of us are doing our due diligence because we saw something and then we were quickly screwed over. And what am I talking about? I'll pop it up real quick just so you can see. I'm talking about this. Obviously, Alessia's S2 passive was completely mistranslated as what they're saying. I don't honestly think that it's a mistranslation. I honestly, deep down in my soul, think that someone forgot. Saw it at one point and then for some reason didn't translate it to the other one. I think that they just forgot to put that in there. And I'm gonna prove that, not really prove it, but I'm gonna show an example of why that actually is. And it should make sense. That's why I have these other videos up here. So pretty much her mind's eye trample thing only works on her own turn. On the caster's turn, and you'll see this little thing here, on the caster's turn, a little hyphen. I was trying to find that. This is mind's eye, right? And you can see 25% chance to get the mind's eye when attacked. So, I mean, I can't read Korean. And that's the biggest thing that I feel like people are like, oh, but you know, it was correct in this language, but it doesn't matter because it's not mentioned in this video. If you guys know this video, this is from the Korean Epic 7. It's not mentioned at all in this video. Like, it's not. It's not mentioned that it has to go on her turn. They gracefully just do not mention it whatsoever. They don't mention that at all. Okay, let me rewind that back. Here it is. I'll make you size it a little bit. And this is the reason why I honestly feel as though you have to keep some of these companies in check. It is not the fact that how big of a deal it is, because it honestly is a big deal, because you're wasting or you're taking people's resources under false pretenses. So even if the company makes a mistake, they still have to do something for it. Now, that is my issue with this, is because people are saying, well, oh, well, I would have gone there anyway. It's not that big of a deal. You know, it's a mistranslation. So that's the same thing in my eyes. If you went to a restaurant and you got food and it didn't say that there was some mushrooms in it, or this didn't have seafood in it, and then there was a mistranslation and all of a sudden something that you were allergic is in the food, and it'd be like, well, oh well, I guess I'm in the hospital. Now you guys might think like, oh, that's an extreme example, but something of that nature is not accepted in almost any other situation. Most of the time that is not acceptable, where someone is leaving out a detail that kind of, in my opinion, defines how good the character is. When you leave out a detail of something that makes the value of that thing, wherever it may be, more valuable or less valuable, then I think that there should be something done about that. Now, I'll give them credit, they acted pretty quickly, but if you guys didn't know, this came out on Christmas. This came out on the 25th, December 25th. And look, what's important about her first skill is it can be used in combination with her second skill. Isn't that right? Now we look at her second skill, Noble Blood. This passive skill has a 25% chance to grant Mind's Eye to Alessia, whatever. Mind's Eye is a buff effect unique to Alessia, with increases both effectiveness and ERN, and it cannot be dispelled. Cool. Furthermore, if she uses the S1, now that aspect of it is where people are kind of debating, like they kind of, you know, they didn't say that it can or can't, but the problem is that you already have characters in the game that literally trigger in that same way. They're comparing it to characters like Charles and any other character, in my opinion, that has something that happens on their S1. If it triggers the S1 and something triggers on the S1 for whatever reason, then it's gonna go. The same reason why, and people are saying Charles, but think of Bologna as well. It doesn't say that only on her turn does her S3 can proc. You can proc it through a counter. People don't run counter on Bologna, and you can do it through a dual strike, because it doesn't specify that. Now, if it didn't work like that, people obviously, with how good is it? I don't know. I'm not too sure. But then people would have that conversation. But here, the issue is that didn't happen to Bologna. It did not happen to Charles, but it is happening to her. And as you see in this video, it does not say that it has to be on her turn. She activates trample. When trample is activated, it strikes. You guys know how that works. So I also wanted to double check, and I wanted to also do my due diligence. Now this is on the 1st, so this is technically yesterday. Now this is the global version run. So if there was a mistranslation on anything, this came out, this video dropped before the patch. It definitely did. I can't see the exact time that it did. You guys would have to just take my word for it. But this video dropped before the patch was out because I was still playing and farming, trying to get the character before she was out. I was trying to prepare and make my room and all that other stuff like that. Like a lot of people, I've actually heard stories of people getting their counter sets and stuff like that. The fact that she doesn't work on counter is not the point, but she also could have worked on Unity. When you limit a character like this, it kind of sucks. So this is the global version, right? I should disable myself so you guys could see it better. When the caster uses Eradicate while granted Mind's Eye,
the additional skill Trample is also activated.
This is where I'm gonna, and he doesn't mention it either, right? When you use it, it's funny because this is, I'll put myself back in there. If you guys watch my Shadowverse videos, in Shadowverse there's a difference between when I summon something, like I play a card and I summon it, or if I play another card that summons the card. There's a difference, and that's kind of like the difference between here. Like, you know, it's very intricate wording, so certain cards don't work with other things, and the same thing here, like certain skills or abilities don't work in a certain way, but you have to specify that if it works like that. So the way that this guy goes into this section of using Alessia, but you can tell he tiptoes. He very welly, or very good, or however the proper term is, he goes around it. So I feel like he might be aware. Maybe they told him that it doesn't work in the caster's turn.
All buffs from all enemies, while also increasing the defense of all allies.
He talks about Genesis perfectly fine.
Genesis
same thing with the other one.
Ally,
right? Perfectly fine.
Buffs.
Now here he goes.
Mind's Eye, a buff that may be granted to the...
Really important here. A buff that may be granted. Why did he say may? Is because it's a chance for it to activate. Now you might think that okay, duh. But to me, it shows that he knows how the character works to a degree. He didn't say a buff granted when the character is attacked, and then you go to see the character that it's only a 20% going up to 50% chance for it to happen. He knows how it works. But he also does not ever mention when he's doing this if it happens on the caster's turn.
Caster when attacked also increases both effectiveness and
effective resistance. He already said that, right?
Additionally,
and there it is. On her turn,
caster is granted
additionally, using Eradicate while the caster is granted Mind's Eye will activate Trample. Again, doesn't mention that it's on her turn. They do showcase it on her turn. Why? Because you don't show the character on counter. They never do that. In any of their showcases, they don't show the caster on random assortments of builds usually. But they did start doing something that I wanted to point out here, which is in Elena's video. In Elena's video, they were very, they wanted to let you know how to use the character. Like, this is how you use the character. I'm just gonna back it up to when they were explaining her S2 and how it works.
Due to the fact that Consecrated Ground does not attack enemies, it can also activate the effect of Magara's Tome.
Why did they tell you that? And I've been critiquing a lot of their reveals because they've been doing that lately. They've been kind of telling characters, this is how you would use this character. So they know how the character works. They completely omitted the fact that it had to use on the caster's turn. So that would be in my understanding that they probably forgot that that's how it actually is. I don't think it was a mistranslation. I really want to stress the fact that I just think that it was not ever there. The character is programmed a certain way, but I think that it was just not translated or was not put into other things. As they say here, that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different languages that got the mistranslation. No, it wasn't there. It most likely just wasn't there. They had it in the Korean, because that's the only thing that I've seen so far that people have said it was correct in Korean, but I don't know how many other languages are that it was correct versus incorrect, but the fact that there's more than one incorrect is bad enough. So, as I told you guys, I saw this through Mango's. I'm sub to Mango, and he did a video, and the first thing he actually talks about is this issue. Now, again, I was gonna do a funny video. I really kind of wanted to do like a really funny video, like just kind of making fun of how she is and stuff like that. But as I scrolled down and I started to see stuff like this, it's not a nerf, it was not deceptive. It was a translation error on the English version. The Korean version had the right wording from the start. Why does that matter? Why does that matter? That doesn't matter. Even if you were like, let's say this person plays on global, right? Sorry, this person plays on Korean server. He knew everything. He was in the right presence of mind, but we were not marketed that. We were marketed the videos that I showed you on this tab, right? We were marketed this, we were marketed this, and these were the 2 videos that dropped before she came out. She was in the game with the incorrect text as well, and that was proven from other people as well, that she was in the game on the banner, everything, and then an hour afterwards. That is still pretty quick turnaround time, but like I said, she was announced 25th. This is where the videos start coming out, on Christmas, so that's about a week ago. I don't think that's overreacting. I think that people honestly deserve a recall. I think that they should be able to recall the character if they do not want the character. They have the system to do it. We already know that they do. And I think that that would be the least of people's worries. There are people in here, by the way, looking at his thing. You know, she is a waifu. I'm going to pull anyway. Man, I wanted, I pulled, and I received. There are people on this person's comments, and there's also people on... I was also watching YJ Nightplay, and he had a video very similar too, and it's the same thing. People are saying like, I summoned, and I really don't care. Doesn't matter, still wouldn't want her. She's a good character, collect S tier waifu. I hate the people, oh, I don't care, so whatever. Bro, you should be considering the people that are actually upset, and the only thing that you could easily give them is just a refund. Give them the ability, anyone that has the character that spent it, give them the recall. And if they recall the character, give them back what they put in. And don't tell me you can't do it, because we know that they can do it, because they did it for all the ML summons that you've ever done before in your entire life. You know, they've done it for, you know, the Mola stuff. They have obviously have the data on what you spend specifically on your account, what resources you've used, and all that good stuff. It would be so easy for them to do it, and there's people right now like me that haven't summoned yet, because now we don't really know what to do. But it's specifically for the people that have summoned already and feel like they were betrayed by the lack of information, regardless of how that information was lost. I guess that's the best way I can say the information was lost through translation. I think we always hear that. It's lost through translation. But in a game like this, when something is lost in translation, there has to be someone that's willing to come up and say, I'm sorry. And just saying that, oh, there was a translation and that's it, I think that that is bad. And I feel like it's bad that people also are okay with that. And it can't say like, oh, you know, you can't tell people what to be upset or mad about. But I think that the game, and any game or anything, will not grow if they can make mistakes like this and it's okay. I don't think it should ever be okay that in a game where you have such limited resources, when you have Skystone, you know, you have your Skystone, you only have so much of it. I already seen comments like, I spent 10,000, I had to use all my Skystone to summon for this character, and it's just gone. And like the character gets nerfed literally an hour. Technically, yes, the character got nerfed within an hour of being released. There was the same thing that happened in Summoner's War. If you guys want to look it up, it was the same issue that happened in Summoner's War when they released a character called the Twins, and they were crazy nice. And they were literally helping people clear stuff within minutes. It was advancing people's accounts because they were attacked together. They would always attack together. That was their gimmick, that they would attack at the same time. So no matter what the other one did, the other twin would do it. And they had multiple different versions of them because Summoner's War goes by elements, by fire. I think it's fire, water, electric, or whatever, wind, whatever. And dark and light. So there could be a whole team of them and they would always team up. Then they changed it so it would be different, but people summoned under that pretense that they were always going to work that way, and then they changed it that it does not, and people felt some type of way. I don't actually think Summoner's War did anything about it, honestly, but that's what they called it. They called it a bait and switch, and Summoner's War got a lot of heat for that. And Smilegate definitely probably doesn't want that type of heat. Like it's not good. It's not good that now people, when a character comes out, they might not even be excited for it anymore. They might be like, well, that's what it said on the paper, but when we get the real tests, I'll fill in the real test answers. I'll fill in the real test at that point, because who knows what that means. That's not good. You don't want your community thinking that whenever they see something new that might not be what it is. There might be a mistranslation in it. If you own up to that, and this is the first time that they did it, granted, but if you own up and make sure that your community does not feel ripped off, because what store would you want to shop in? What restaurant would you like to go back in when they pretty much mistranslated something? Because that's what it is. I don't think that they lied. I honestly don't think that they were being malicious in this. And I think that that's the only thing that I will not agree with. I don't think that they were purposefully being malicious in this scenario. I do not think that. It does not change the fact that you did do something wrong. Even if you are leaning up against a wall, hands back like this, move your feet forward, and then someone trips on your foot. You didn't mean to trip them, but you did trip them. You tripped them, alright? You fuck? I think that they deserve, at the very least, a recall. And that would kind of be hard because that wouldn't really only work if you actually got the character. Let's say you're someone like me, I don't have enough resources to actually finish the banner. So let's say if I started, I did about 100 of the summons, I have 20 left. I can't recall because I don't have the character. You know, maybe of something like that, any summons, or I guess they call it like rollbacking the account. That would be a little bit too much because there's some people that probably, like I saw someone sell them in a little bit ago before I started recording. That person's obviously not summoning on the banner. They're not summoning on the banner, they're summoning off the banner. So rolling back the account might piss that person off that got the other character, and it's like, wait, I was summoning off the banner because I didn't want this character, I just wanted to summon. Now I got rolled back and then my character's gone. So I think it has to be only specifically for people that summon on the banner, and there should be some type of option in the game that gives them back the bookmarks that they spent. Or hell, give anyone that summoned on the bookmark, whether they finished it or not, give them the bookmarks that they did. That's kind of OD. I know, oh my god, it's a gacha game. And I saw that too. It's a gacha game, guys. What do you expect? God forbid if we get too much because we deserve little. This character's not even that broken, especially because the character is currently in the state that it's in. Like, the character is not doing shit. So if everyone got Alessia in their account right now, the world would be nothing would change. Nothing would change in the world of Epic 7. It wouldn't even matter. She's not that strong, and there's no way she's going to be better than some of the half of the meta picks that you're going to see in PvP. And if she's good in PvE, like I said in my other video, who cares? PvE is figured out. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think that this was underhanded? Was this a sly move? I personally don't think so. I think that there was a generally honest mistake. I, deep in my soul, believe it was an honest mistake, but that does not change that they have to make a legitimate apology and do what's right by your consumers. If you think that you can literally do whatever you want to your consumers and they will still take and buy up your product, or in this case use up their resources, then this is going to be this will be the step. I honestly say that if they do absolutely nothing, like if there's no other things, then that's going to be an issue. Like, there needs to be something else that goes after this point here that says that we're doing something to do something. Like, it has to be. All I see, we will continue to update you all on the issue by updating this announcement, and we'll be doing our best to provide better service. No. Take back Alessia and return my bookmarks. That's it. I spent $280 for 2 copies of Alessia off of the misinformation from you guys. That's super scummy. I'm actually going to change my 5-star rating review. I kept since release. This is the most scummiest thing I've ever seen. And that's the problem that you run into when you play these games and you can buy or use money to acquire more resources to use in a game. It's when you open these chaos gates. And that's where it comes in. Now you're messing with consumers. Now you're not only messing with your free-to-play player base, which they're pissed too. They saw a character, they finally saw a character, and then, not that it gets nerfed, but it's a mistranslation. It would be better if they nerfed this, they kept it as people thought it was, because they could honestly just switch it. Easy. They just left it as what people thought it was. See if it was broken. See if it was really bad, and then nerfed it like 3 months later. 2-3 months later, be like, oh, what's with it? Incoming hero balance patch. And it would have been fine if it was broken. Because I can understand how it might have been broken. You know, like, because it's a counterattack, and then, but it's too much RNG. I literally was watching Astronauts, right? I was watching his video, and I watched like 1 or 2 fights, right? I think because it's 40 minutes, I haven't got through the whole thing. But he literally has not. And I think he has the S2 maxed out. I think if I go back. So as you can see, oh wait, I'm blocking it. As you can see here, he has the Noble's Blood up to 50%. And if you watch this video, I suggest you do if you really want to see how good she possibly could be in PvP. I don't think that in the first 2 fights, it actually triggered. Like a counterattack triggered while he had Mind's Eye. didn't happen. It didn't even happen. And the fact that even if it did happen, nothing happens. Whateve, I'm gone. I've already been recording for way too long about this topic. But again, let me know what you guys think. It's like people keep quitting the game, and then Smilegate's like, I bet I'll make you quit faster. Yo, I don't know. Maybe Straws is actually the head of Epic, like the Smilegate and Epic 7. It's actually Straws, and he's like slowly taking out and spreading the poison through the Comet's eye and just polluting the fucking community. Anyway, just remember that every day is not your lucky day at the Kashino. Oh, I'm sorry. That's a mistranslation. Every day is your lucky day at the Kashino. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.